Hi there, Jason Tait, head coach of Southwest Swim, down in Swindon and the sunny Cotswolds today. So we're here just to provide you with your swim at home session for this week, and this is the intro and education video which we can go through, show you some of the movements, tell you what you're going to be doing, and just making sure you're doing those movements right before you get into the pool. Okay, so I'll start off by simply saying that we've got something new and quite exciting, but we're having a play around with at the moment, and it's called our Swim at Home live sessions. And we've done a couple of these. We've done one last Monday and on last Saturday, and so it's a bit of fun. We're testing the boundaries of how we can coach you in the pool. Okay, it's just me thinking a crazy idea of what can we do to give you something which you would normally be getting as in a coach session, and we're trying to do that via Zoom. So I'm going to be coaching a session directly to your own tethered pool or endless pool in your garden, going for a HIIT session, normally about 40 minutes, 45 minutes long, and trying that little experiment to coach you. And these sessions, like all of our lockdown content, are free, where you can donate a session fee should you wish to afterwards. We're going to run these until the end of May, every Saturday at 3 PM. So if it's something which you want to give a go and have a play around with and a bit of fun, then by all means look at our Facebook page. It will have the link for you to sign up via our booking system. And as simple as that. So I thought I'd mention that first of all, in case you wanted to give it a go. Like I said, it is a bit of fun. It's not guaranteed to work, which is why we're providing them for you free of charge, and you can decide whether you want to contribute to the running of our sessions after that. But either way, it's yours to sign up to, so give it a go. If you did last Saturday's Swim at Home live session, our session we're presenting for you this week is very similar. There's just a change at the end, which we wouldn't have been able to do in that live session because it would go on too longer, a little bit too long. And also there's a change to the amount of sets you're doing on there. But you'll get the gist of that. If you did join us on Saturday Live, you'll know the session, and it will be roughly the same as the one that you were handed before the session plan on email. Okay, so don't be disappointed with that. Go through it. Again, we try and make our sets modular, so you can pick and choose the sections you want to do. This week we have 3 sections, all right? And you can pick and choose those sections to what you want to do. You can change the amount of the distances or times that you're swimming, change the rest periods. Really do use them as a template for your own swimming. I'm just here giving you these so you've got fresh ideas to go away with and make your swim in your tethered or endless pool a lot more productive, interesting, fun, and maybe trying things you don't normally try within your swimming. If you're not a squad swimmer or member of a swimming club, some of this will be quite new to you. So anyway, let's get going and just start describing the set for you. Our warm-up this week, I want you to do a 3-minute swim, right? Okay, so do your dry land stuff before, get your heart rate up a little bit, so some running, excuse me, some running on the spot, skipping, things like that, just to elevate your heart rate, and try and do some dynamic movement. So by that I mean just arm swings around the body and across the body, leg swings, etc. Get warmed up dry land like you would do normally, hopefully, and then get in the pool, and we're going to hit that 3-minute swim, nice and easy on your tether or in your endless pool. After that, what I want to do this week is try and give you an idea of strokes per minute, so we can use that for timing later on. Now ideally what you really want is a timer, either a Garmin, which you can set to buzz, or a Finnish tempo trainer, which you can set to beep at set intervals when you know. So you know, basically you can set these things for a minute or 2 minutes and you'll know when your time is up. If you don't have that, an ideal thing to really gauge is your stroke rates over a minute. And we've used this in most of our sessions, if not all of them, as a mechanism to guide you through a timed swim. So we're going to start with that this week. So you do 3-minute warm-up swim, and then I want you to do 3 lots of 1-minute swimming. So this is where you would need some essence of being able to time yourself. So if you've got a stopwatch and a spotter, see if you can get them into the garden for a minute and set you off and bang you on the head on the minute, okay? Or shout at you or something. Poke you with a pokey stick is optional. Alright, but just try and get that minute. And what I want you to do is do the first 1 minute swim as quite a nice, easy, relaxed swim. Count your strokes, individual strokes, 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay, so if you get to 60 and the minute's up, you've done 60 strokes in a minute. In future, you can count 60 strokes and you know that's a minute. However, we're going to get a balance this week and make sure that figure's right. So I want you to do the second swim and try and get a little bit more effort into that swim. Just a tiny bit. So you're going slightly faster, but it's still going to be very comfortable. The pace you'd maybe swim half a mile or 400 meters, whatever your destination goal is, that's what we're training towards. So you want that stroke rate. We're just going to lift that stroke rate up a little bit. Do the same, count your strokes. You might find they're 2, 4, maybe 5 or 6 strokes higher than the one previous. And on the third effort, I want you to go that a little bit higher again. Okay, so a little bit more effort on there and count your strokes once more. Okay. We're not sprinting, so don't think of this as a sprint. Even on that third effort, it's still a longer distance swim that I want you to do, and you'll find out why right at the end of the session. All right, but count those strokes. Then after out of those 3 different figures, choose the one that felt most comfortable, or take an average of them, entirely up to you. And then I want you to do a 2 minute swim, counting those strokes to get your 2 minutes. And ideally, what I'd like someone to do for you or yourself is just when you start, press start on the stopwatch or your Garmin, or get your swim spotter to do that for you. Okay, but don't stop at that point. What I want you to do is swim those. So if you've got a 60 strokes per minute calculation, I want you to swim 120 strokes, and then just have a look or ask your spotter how close you are to 2 minutes. All right, and then you can further tweak it from there should you wish to. All right, but that's our warm-up, nice and easy, something a little bit different, and you can use this in the future for your swimming. Even when we get back into the pools and lakes with a finished tempo train, you can build your rhythm and start working towards stroke rate, etc. on there. So that's our first effort, what we're going to do. Okay, next we're going to work into part 1. Part 1 of our session, we have done this before in a previous session. We're going to work on basically our front end of a stroke, our catch, where we catch the water here through to our power point here. So we're going to do some sculling drills, and we're going to do scull 1 and scull 2. Okay, and I've showed you these before in our previous week's videos with video evidence. I'm just going to run them through you now. So first things first, when we enter the water, okay, we want to enter the water with our fingertips first. All right, fingertips first, and that middle finger drives forward in line with the shoulder with a rotation of the body. We shouldn't be crossing over, and we shouldn't be wide. We should be in that nice stable position, cutting a path through the water as streamlined as we can be. Okay, so in this position here, what we should have as we spear into the water is our fingertips are slightly lower than the wrist, and our wrist is slightly lower than the elbow. We shouldn't be up like this or like this, okay, and driving forward. We should be spearing into the water with that fingertips, wrist, elbow force going through our head. Now our first part of drill we're going to do is a scull 1. So we're just going to sweep the water backwards and forwards like so. Okay, if I'm like this, I'm going to go backwards. If I'm flat, I'm not going to move anymore. What you want to feel if you're on a tether is basically a slight pull, because you'll be pulling forwards on the tether. Now equipment wise, I've mentioned this now, I want you to have a pool buoy when you're doing these drills, and optionally a snorkel. A lot of you are using a snorkel anyway for swimming, and remember the tips we give you when you're actually swimming with these about going with the rotation to keep that in line even when you're breathing through a snorkel on some swims. But with this sculling, the snorkel would be ideal because you can get your head down and just get going with the scull. In our second lot of drills, we're going to go through scull 2. So I'll move back so you can see this one. But basically it's the same pattern. My palm's going to be facing back, and I'm moving my hands backwards and forwards like so. Okay, so that's our catch position here to press water backwards, and this is where we're going to get an oomph out to our exit and our rotation backwards. Okay, so that's our second drill. So sorry, second drill we're using in that part of the set, and I'll explain that in a second. On our third effort, we're going to be doing 20 sweeps of scull 1, into 20 scull 2 and 40 strokes. Now the sequence we're going to use, these are all individual sets you'll see on the session plan. Download that and take it to your pool. But the first block is that 20 sweeps of scull 1. So that is 1, 2, 3, etc. up to 20. And then we enter those 40 nice easy strokes, focusing first of all on getting that feel of the water at the front and powering that back. Now if you want to use a set of paddles on these feely swims, feel free, because these will emphasize a bit more of that catch for you. Alright, so that's our first one. Then we're going to take our 30 seconds rest, and we're going to do scull 2, 20 sweeps of scull 2 into that 40 strokes of swim. Alright, nice and easy swim again. And the third block in this session is basically 20 scull 1 into 20 scull 2 into 40 strokes of swim with your pool boy. Okay, and again focusing on that movement between this position and this position here, getting a really good catch, working that bent elbow. A lot of people complain about scraping the floor of their pools if they're shallow, and you may well find that's because you're pressing down with a straight arm. That only lifts yourself up at the front, sinks your legs and scrapes your fingers along a shallow pool. So we want to get into that bending of the elbow and pressing backwards. Alright, so this first part of the set is designed for that. So after you've gone through those 3 drills, what I want you to then do is a 2-minute swim. Really focusing on the movement, nice easy pace, using your stroke count as your guide for your 2 minutes. Again, feel free to use paddles, pool buoy and snorkel on those swims. You're going to repeat that as per the session plan 3 times through. So 3 times in total. But as it's modular, you can basically pick and choose what you want to do with those and how many repeats you want to do on there. Okay? Right. Going to rest a minute, hydrate, have a drink, get ready for the next part of the session. And what I'm going to do, this is our basically our 10s swim. Okay? Sorry, 10, 20, 30, 40 progression swim, sorry. What we're going to do now is start to work through the body in our swim. And this is an idea you can use with lots of different drills and varieties, so mix them around. But what we've got for you is, we're going to do 10 strokes of scull 1 with our pool buoy and our snorkel. Then we're going to do 20 strokes, nice and easy, again with the pool buoy and the snorkel as optional obviously. And then we are going to do 30 kicks. Alright, very roughly 30 kicks. It's quite hard to count your kicks, but what we're going to do is basically go into that streamline position. So we go from our swim and we go into a streamline and we count 30 kicks. 1, 2, 3, etc. Alright, then what I want you to do is 40 fast strokes of swim. So we just open our legs, let the pool buoy pop out, and we're going to basically do a 40 stroke faster effort swim. So what we're doing, we're working our catch at the front, we're putting that catch into an easy swim, and then in the streamlining position we're getting nice and tall, engaging the core, stretching back, and make sure you're kicking from the hips with a loose ankle and a loose knee. We don't want to be kicking from the knee like so, because that's going to sink our body. Alright, so kick technique and core engagement is that kick part. And then we go fast because we want to try and piece all those aspects together. Alright? The session is written to go 4 times through that in that order. And then we reverse it. Okay? We reverse the numbers in the second part of the session, and we're going to do 40 with our pool buoy and snorkel, 40 sweeps of scull 1. So quite a long time of sculling. And again, you just want to feel that tether just being lightly pulled to know you're going in the right way. If you're going backwards, you're likely like this, alright, which isn't a good feel. So 40 sweeps, 30 nice easy strokes, getting a feel for that swim, so the swim is slightly longer. Then we're going to do 20 kicks, exactly the same as before, streamlined position but a much shorter time. And then to finish off, it's 10 super fast swim strokes. So basically a sprint to the end. But still try and feel the engagement of the catch and the engagement of the legs and the body position, okay? And that's that. So that again, that's 4 through. So 4 in the original order, 4 in that order. Mix it up, do less or more if you wish, okay? And that's a really, really good progression for your endless pool or tethered pool. It's a bit of a hit because you're doing lots of different exercises all the way through. We're only going to take 20 seconds rest in between each one, okay? So you're getting minimal rest, but it's also good at building skills, and you can mix and match those different drills on there for you. All right. Now we're into part 3 of our session. This is where your stroke count or your timings come in handy. So this is the part that differs from our live session which we did at the weekend, because we couldn't really do this because it's quite a time set. So you could even break this down and do it as its own sole session. What we're going to do is 1 minute's worth of swim. Okay, so we're going to build endurance on this one. 1 minute's worth of swim, 30 seconds rest. 2 minutes of swim, 30 seconds rest. 3 minutes of swim, 30 seconds. 4, 30 seconds rest. And finishing with a 5-minute swim, okay? And finishing off the session from there. Now, a couple of ways you can do this. You can use your swim toys. So paddles, pool buoy, snorkel. You can even wear fins if your pool is long enough. Be careful if you're wearing fins if you've got a sort of inflatable or best way kind of pool, but you don't rip the liner with those, okay? Because they could be quite sharp, and hitting them with force, you don't want to suddenly find yourself with no water in your pool, okay? So just be very aware if you're using fins, but really mix it up. You can do this in different things. You could do the minute fast and then get progressively slower, or you could try and maintain your same pace throughout the session. So lots of different ways to do this. It is quite a long one, so if you just wanted to do 1, 2, 3 minutes and call it quits, that's fine. Or you can do up to the 5, or jump in at 4 and do 4 minutes and 5 minutes. Totally modulate, entirely up to you, your fitness level and the time you've got. But just mix it around. So pretty much open on that one for you to have a play around with. And that is this week's session. After that, after the pool part, I mean, the cool down in that last block part is enough for you, but feel free to swim on. If you're hardened or got a heated pool, feel free to swim on and do a cool down for 5-10 minutes of easy own choice swim. And then do some dry land stretching thereafter, just to relax off those muscles. With this session as well, we're going to put into it that you can do some of these exercises as multi-stroke. A prime example is that set 1, block 1, where we're doing the 20 sweeps of sculls. Okay, if you wanted to, replace the front crawl with breaststroke or fly. All right, I've even seen people doing backstroke in a tethered pool. A little bit more difficult, but yeah, feel free to max it with those different strokes. Getting a nice little variety using the different muscle groups there. And you could do all the front strokes with that because we're going through it 3 times. So you could do the first one front crawl, second one breast, third one fly. Entirely up to you. I know a lot of open water swimmers only do front crawl, so it's there as a suggestion for our pool-based club swimmers. Okay, so that's it. Effectively, I hope you're going to enjoy the session. Remember, if you are free on Saturday, look up on Southwest Swim's Facebook page the post for the Swim at Home live set. It will be reposted later today, today being Tuesday, okay? And it will be posted throughout the week, and it's also an event in our event calendar. Do feel free to sign up for that. It is free of charge. It is a bit of fun, but we've had some really good feedback with swimmers from around the country, from Reading down south up to Glasgow and Edinburgh on Saturday. So really positive feedback. So we know it kind of works, but we want you to kind of give it a go as well. The more people we get, the better. All right. So feel free to join us on Saturday. If not, I will see you next Tuesday for another video. Again, if you like the session, feel free to make a session donation to us to keep us going through lockdown. That'd be very good. And thank you to those that have been doing that week in, week out for us. And any questions at all on the session, feel free to email me at jason@southwestswim.co.uk. Have fun, be safe, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.